Now, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't even get to cover this story about the teachers at the JTA. The JTA heads, they decided the new wage offer. Um, they declined the new wage offer, right? JTA to decide on new wage offer at Union 62nd annual conference, right? This is two of them say.
Boss Mark Malabver is adamant the teachers' union will not back from efforts to secure value for teachers and their students.
We are almost as old as Jamaica's independence. So we will only die if Jamaica dies. That is the reality. Our position has remained clear. Negotiations cannot simply be about figures on the page. They must also be about equity, fairness, dignity, and proper valuation of the teaching profession. And we have insisted that the classroom teacher must be given pride of place.
Malabver stressed that with that level of determination, the JTA received a new wage offer from the government.
I therefore formally confirm this morning that the Jamaica Teachers Association has received a new offer from the government. That offer will be dealt with here at conference. Delegates will have the opportunity to examine it carefully, consider what has been achieved, determine what remains outstanding, if any. Through the democratic processes of this association, we will decide what our formal response will be.
The JTA boss was speaking on Monday at the 62nd staging of the Jamaica Teachers Association's annual conference in Trelawney. The event will also see President-elect Lasagna Harrison being sworn in this evening. President Malabver, in making his final speech, reminded the incoming president of the union's purpose and the need to move with the times.
The Jamaica Teachers Association does not belong to a president, a secretary general, a committee, or a general council. It belongs to the teachers of Jamaica. The education landscape is changing rapidly. Technology is changing. Artificial intelligence, Madam PE is changing. Teaching is changing, teaching and learning. The challenges facing us and our schools are also changing. The JTA must therefore be prepared to evolve. We must be progressive, and we must move with alacrity.
Natasha Williams, CVM News.
So, on a year, Mr. Malabver saying, I don't know what happened, ladies and gentlemen, but it says here that Malabver defends controversial JTA comments. Listen to this.
That particular statement that I made was made within a particular context, and I made the point that clearly if the minister could not see, underline C, SEE, that what the issues were with respect to shelteries being in schools, then clearly he was blind. That particular statement that I made was made within a particular context, and I made the point that clearly if the minister could not see, underline C, SEE, that what the issues were with respect to shelteries being in schools, then clearly he was blind. That particular.
Yo, so this is one in Expo. What a thing. What a thing. Oh man, it's such, listen. Anyway, let me go to this, ladies. Let me go to this. Mr. Buchanon.
So what?
Let me go to this, guys. A joke thing. I think that's something sensible when I talk about, ladies and gentlemen. If you can't see no much blind, how you go? Explain that to me. How that become disrespect? Tell me how that become disrespect, ladies and gentlemen. Make we hear where Mr. Buchanan says. See?
Some level of responsibility that has in his great family. There is some level of responsibility that has to take place in terms of teaching young people I have zero regard for old people because you can be old and worthless. You can be entitled to your opinion if you want, and your thoughts, comments, contribution, and actions would have zero impact. Because imagine me worried about people who I have zero regard and would never want to live your life, not even for a day. Your opinion would be of zero value to me. So for somebody who would be upset that they have to go to work because they don't have a profession, so because I'm an attorney, and respectfully, although second rate to my profession of being an attorney, a gift that came from God because of a brain that was allowed to be developed. Second rate to that would be being a member of parliament. And that too, I am an elected official. And so at all material times, I know my duties. And because I know the law, I know within the law and the constitution, so long as I don't break those two, everything else is about majority selective morality thoughts and actions. But let me get back to what I'm saying. Public outrage, and I am waiting on the proper person, but you see, as a spokesperson on youth and human rights, protection of the children in this country is of utmost. So I have made the necessary connections as to who will address, because when I address it, I'm going to say it's enough. But every person who would have commented on a social media video involving a child should be questioned by the relevant authority who is responsible for protection of children. If there are sexual predators out there that is circulating child pornography, they should be arrested. If you invite people to look at a video that involves a minor and you're commenting on body parts, you should be arrested. That's not freedom of expression. You have identified yourself as a pedophile, a sexual predator, and the children around you, they need to investigate and inquire properly as to whether you have engaged in sexual activities with minors. You're a pedophile. And that's the things that we are to be considering, and we're to be extremely worried about. So I have to sit down and say to myself now, yes, me that them call mad, me that them call, I'm not even going to speak some of the nastiness out of my mouth because I'm not receiving it or addressing it. But for the things that people are worried about, yeah, let me just make it absolutely clear. When it comes to children, and yeah, it's because I don't want nobody to say enough, but I would have long personally intervened to ensure that the welfare of children is kept sacrosanct and kept as utmost important. So just in case you don't know, the Child Care and Protection Act is governed, or the object and purpose is the best interests of the child. Yeah, that is it. The best interest of the child is paramount. So any time when a child is involved, especially when it comes to activities involving indiscretions, fornication, and sometimes adultery, they will never under the law be a consenting party. And that's why I'm telling you, children is always children. So you could have been a 17-year-old 11 months and 29 or 30 days in the year for you to become 18. You are a picnic. And the laws in Jamaica say you are a youth right up until you're 29, you know. So imagine you're 29 and you feel, say, because you have two picnic and you have woman and who have man and a play house and who a pay rent and who a build house and who a do this, that you arrive in life, right? Let me explain something to you. Wake up in the morning as a young person because youthful exuberance is wasted on the youth, but enjoy it, right? Enjoy it. Ma'am, sure, I know me make the law. I don't make the law. Because when I was growing up, them have a song says, she's just 16 years old. Leave them alone, they say. Right? Yeah. Just remember. Just appreciate that consent is the order of the day. But outside of consent, forget what the law says about consenting. Remember, this is the same law that says from you is 12 and you break the law, they're gonna lock you up and show with the key. So you can't consent, you can't vote, you can't go buy liquor, you can't do nothing without your mother and father permission. But here it is, them can lock you up when you're 12. Which is why the child diversion legislation is so important. So yes, for those of you who call me madman and criminal and two-time this and all of the things and the ice packs and all of that, because I decide that I am going to say to my colleagues, when it comes to possession of a firearm, simplicity, a child is a child. You cannot ruin their lives and give them, imagine being 12 and they give you 15 years in prison. You don't come out until you're what, 27? And then they're going to tell you to go get house and get car and everything, and then you come out at 27 and you see a piece of land and you learn how for lay brick and thing, you build a little house, and then them just decide to say, oh, he's a squatter, and say, hey, the little convict boy a squat on people land, him worthless and him lazy. But nobody looks at the individual, not as numbers, not as squatters, but as individuals with history and a past, the relic or the remnants of trauma. Nobody talks about that, So don't lose sight. We're talking about children. So a picnic is a picnic. So when me talk to young adults, if that's what you want to call them, teenagers, adolescents, and I said, you can't do that. And I'm saying, Rasta boy, what's up? Anyway, let me not say that. Go SY, whatever. Let me leave it. And start. You think I'm going to look on a child and give them big man energy and feel like I'm a war child? Because if any day I get up and give a child the identical energy, yeah, believe me when I tell you this, are the same way you will look on a little girl and give her the same energy. So if you can see a young youth as a big man, you see the young girl as a big man. And if you same way you will kick off a young youth face, you will engage in activities with a young girl and think it's okay, but it is not.
That's a great point. That's a great point. Think about that. Think about that. If you can view a young teenager as a big man, to deal with him like a big man, what would you do to the girl? That is a great point, sir. Let's continue.
The law don't need to tell you what is acceptable. You supposed to have an internal locus of control. You're not supposed to be misguided by external influences. If that was the case, you put a little ugly Krasmite pan a radio station in front of a mic, and he or she feel like them arrive and they're moral authority. So if you be a moral authority where if you not show up for work one morning, you're going to suffer. Just go and go sit down, man. Because if you did not take a book when you're in a school instead of take man or take gal, you would have get your education and your life would be different. So when you talk the facts, people are upset. Yeah? And I can say this without apology, Jamaica is a wonderful place. There are very few people in this country that have received the blessings as a son or daughter of Jamaica than Isat. Imagine being a worthless teenager. Imagine derailing your life because of the system, and you come back to Jamaica and it gives you every opportunity in life to be the best version of yourself. That's Jamaica, Regardless of those who are sitting bitter, you have to have something inside of you. Them did have a song. There's something inside so strong. I know that I can make it. And though you're doing me wrong, so wrong. I know my pride was lost. There's something inside so strong. Something like that. But you don't listen music with positive influences. So you don't.
My wisdom warriors, yes, I left it.
Big up Atta Vipers and big up Isaac Buchanan. Point well taken, Isaac. Why did you leave Isaac Buchanan alone? Hey, Isaac Buchanan and mad them. Isaac Buchanan and mad them. But back to the teacher, them, ladies and gentlemen. This is the argument about the wages.
The decision of the teachers of the nation of the 213 members present in the room, 155 of those members present rejected what the government currently have on offer to the teachers of this nation.
Embarrassing.
54
We need some milk.
said yes, and we had a rejected, we had a spoiled ballot and 3 rejected. So the teachers have spoken, and that is an indication to the leadership of the association, the presidential core, the secretariat, that we will know. Well, our first course of action would be that we need to write to the Ministry of Education, of Finance, for having sent us the offer. Then we need to respond in writing what the will of the and the voice of the teachers, what that is at this time. And they're saying, presidential core, admin, you need to go back to the table and have some further discussions and deliberations. The decision of the teacher.
Big up the teacher them, no value and don't make them short, them you know, them short change, you know, here. Now, something I'm going over KSMC want to add this to the report, ladies and gentlemen.
Of those 432 properties, 151 are associated with businesses, accounting for $96 million of that total. On the trade license side, 195 businesses are registered in this category in the selected area, with estimated arrears of $48 million. I want to say that the KSAMC Signs and Billboard campaign, which began in January of this year, will continue alongside this operation. Of those 432 properties, 151 are associated with businesses.
So, if me understand this, KSMC target 204 million in halfway through tax license fee arrears. Arrears means so what? Them not pay, don't. So like me not so bright. Arrears means money that is owed and is past the date it should have been paid. So you're telling me that under the Jamaica Labour Party, ladies and gentlemen, see, 100 and odd businesses in a halfway through alone. No pay them money we owe to them. So now, we have to big up in here. Because when you collect them money from the business, it's same when I go fix the road them. It's same when I go do all like them clean up and operation and all these things. And all the different things that they need to do. Well, not the road I want different things, because road money are bigger money. But all the other things that they need to do, ladies and gentlemen, to keep the place, you know, maintain. Me have to just big up big up the mayor, man. Me and Swaby for the continued great work from the ladies and gentlemen. Give the man a round of applause here, man. No, man, this money are going too good, Betty. Jamaica, this money are going too good. You agree with me? No, man, I want to base. Somebody I want to base me right now. In terms of me a representation. Barring none. No, listen. No disrespect to nobody, but the truth is just the truth. Keep it up, Mia. Keep it up. Keep it up. Loving it, loving it, loving it. Now, on the side of land, should I go there? I left that one there alone. Let me left that one there alone. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section, ladies and gentlemen, alright? Big up me and Swaby, no joke.